What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the No World Order Podcast IG Live Edition. It is October 6th, 2020, and it is 3:30 p.m. here on the West Coast. It's been about a month or so since we have been here, waiting on Zach to pop on up, and we will get some things started. We have a lot to talk about today regarding New Mexico and aliens and all sorts of things like that. So, we are about to get it started. Yo.
Some would say we have too much to talk about.
Yeah, man. I was surprised with how much notes I got out of this, man.
I went in 20 different directions and wasted a lot of time. Not wasted, but we're definitely going to have to take a big portion of what I have and roll it over to a different show entirely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, well, that'll be fun to see where you started and where you ended up, and I'll tell you what, like, where I started and ended up.
Yeah.
And I'm still not done. I think I'm still researching right now.
Yeah, so. Dude. I mean, before we get deep into it, like...
Yeah. Let's recap. Let's reset. We haven't been here in forever. Is my audio good? I'm using headphones.
Yeah, it's good. It sounds
not
good.
Wireless.
Sounds clear.
I don't want to kill my brain.
But what I did for this one, which I thought was pretty interesting, I listened to like a 25-30 minute like government official story narrative breakdown of what went on, and then I went to like a conspiracy theory breakdown of what went on, and I was like, okay, it's really interesting. So yeah, cool. We'll get into where I kind of stand and where I fall with it. But what was your approach to it?
So I can't think about one thing at once. So when it was like Roswell, okay, cool. And then I was like, well, what about this other thing? What about this other thing? I was like, so it's kind of just New Mexico. And then I started there, but I ended up way off looking at occult shit from Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, see, I couldn't even get to that yet. I was just all on the Roswell stuff and like 1947 and all of that. And then I know we were going to talk a little bit about that guy's land in Arizona, and then kind of tying in everything with the Vast of Night movie that you had recommended, which
should be its own podcast in general.
Yeah, that one was pretty interesting. But let's get this out of the way. Well, first off, how are you doing? How's your foot? How's everything going?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I can kind of hobble around without the walking boot on.
That's good.
Haven't put a shoe on it yet. Jeez. Can't do much other than walk flat ground, but like it's closer.
That's good.
But
yeah.
When
is this progress slower than the last time, or about the same?
No, the last time took longer, dude.
Really?
It was because it was like 2 surgeries at once. And like I remember taking those damn pain pills because I could not exist. Everything hurt. This one, I could kind of walk like right away.
Oh,
I wasn't really supposed to, but I could like hobble to the bathroom and back.
Mm-hmm.
And last time it took me about 2.5-3 weeks to get to that point.
Wow.
So it's coming along, but I was running every day before I had surgery, so I'm just like itching to get back outside.
Yeah.
But other than that, decent. How are things over in your end? Did you give in to wearing a mask?
No.
Nope.
No. Things are all right. I kind of keep it off of this. Like I've been saying for a while, I need to go over there and see you.
You got to Real Word podcast for that stuff?
Not even that. There's stuff that I'm just kind of like holding to myself.
The Patreon Real Word account.
No, there's just stuff exclusive. That I don't get to talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on with me, and you're a good friend, so it's like some of this is just supposed to be in person, that I kind of want to talk to you about, just personal
not recorded,
stuff.
Not over
exactly.
A phone line, a tap line.
Exactly. So, but I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Things are, it's just life.
Yeah.
But let's get into this first thing. Trump and the coronavirus. What's up with that? What's your thoughts on that?
I go back and forth just like I do on him with everything else.
Same.
I saw that he got it, and my first reaction legit was 2 days after the fucking debate, really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to buy that.
And
you know,
so, and I said, you sent me this thing saying he gained a bunch of support and stuff, but I was like, dude, it did not look good for him. Like,
That's
honestly, it was not good. All he was doing was interrupting Biden and just kept interrupting. And what you need for Biden to look bad is to get him going on these long form conversations, so then he'll slip up and stuff, you know? But
just let him talk.
Exactly, but he just kept interrupting. I was like, dude, this is not looking good for Trump. And I was watching this Steven Crowder live stream while he was watching the debates and stuff, and even he was, you know, he's super pro Trump and all that, but he was even like, this is not looking good for Trump. He's like, I'm gonna call it like it is, you know, it's not looking good. He needs to just let him speak instead of doing this interrupting thing. And yeah, then like you said, 2 days later, then he comes down with this coronavirus and kind of diverts all the attention from the debate and the taxes and, you know, all sorts of this stuff that was kind of, you know, making him look bad, even though he was saying the taxes was fake news and he's actually paid millions in taxes and all this stuff. So I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't surprised, but I was like, really? Like, don't. And then everyone's like, oh my God. And I'm like, it's bullshit, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, and then here, I purposely did not watch the debate. Like, I've been in like a very frustrated headspace just because I can't get up and walk. So everything is fucking annoying. So I'm like trying to be careful what I do and say. But I was like, I can't watch the debate. I can't watch it in this fucked up headspace and then go online and post 1,000 memes about it so people can judge me secretly. Like, I mean,
it's so frustrating because within that debate, I mean, I think then a couple of days after, a day after, Biden is like, oh, Trump has never, not once, disavowed white supremacy. How many fucking videos does there have to be where he disavows white supremacy for them to be like, he's disavowed white supremacy and the KKK and he's deemed the KKK a terrorist organization? What other president has done that? Why hasn't any other president done that?
Right.
You know, like,
exactly.
But he's the white supremacist, racist, and all. It's like, oh my God, dude, it pisses me off. It's like how the media can just blatantly lie like that, or a presidential candidate can just blatantly lie like that. It's insane.
I legitimately think so. I've like within the coronavirus part of the storyline with Trump, it like seems like more evidence to me that it's all a fucking work.
Yeah,
like
that's what I said.
Him interrupting Biden, dude, like. You know what to do. You know he fucking trails. Like, it's just like when two wrestlers are in the ring and one has to compensate for the other, or make the other one look good or sell for the other. Yeah. It's that. It just cut me off so I don't fucking ramble. And then Trump fucking does it. And he looks like aggressive, and some people like that. Yeah. But the whole him not disavowing, which no one has ever used that word before this election. Don't act like it's part of your fucking vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Lord. So, yeah, but that whole thing specifically from the top is a fucking work. Like,
that's what I felt too.
Because my dad the other day, he was like, hey, did you see that Tommy Lee? I guess Tommy Lee had been like, not Trump because he doesn't disavow racists. And I'm like, and then on my feed, I was looking at this lead singer of Edward Sharpe. I really love Edward Sharpe's like first few albums are really, really good music. But that dude, at one point I saw that he had met with and hung out with Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Bill Clinton. And like from then on, he's been fucking weird. Yeah. He's been different. Which, like, come on, you know what it is. But he posts like a, you know, Trump and not disavowing them, whatever. And I tagged him in the video that you.
I saw that, yeah. And he's like, not enough proof or something. I was like,
not enough. I'm like, he says there
over 20 times.
The KKK.
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
And for someone just to be like, not enough. You're just not looking. You're not open to it. You're just being told what. And like the whole disavow, the racist. It's just. It's fucking conspiracy shit, dude.
And then Biden just straight up says Antifa is an idea and not an organization.
Then why was there a motherfucker in Oregon talking to like the what was it, like the city council meeting? Who was that then? Was that an idea? No, it was a real fucking person.
Exactly. It's
talking about communistic ideas on American land.
Exactly. It's
not to sound like a fucking patriot, but good Lord.
Yeah. But the way I said it, I was like, man, this feels like a heel WWE term where a guy comes out injured in crutches or whatever and like gets the sympathy vote and then turns around and beats the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. That's what it feels like to me. Is like, it just feels like a work. It feels like it's a play, but I don't know if it's him being in on it or if he's playing the game where because it when he comes back from it, which is interesting how it was 3 days later, like dead for 3 days and then risen
Like
again.
Jesus?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
So that was interesting. And then it's like the media is a lose-lose for them. It's like if they're playing up the dangers of the virus and he comes back, then like and he's older, he's obese, he's supposed to be at this high risk thing.
He eats McDonald's all the time.
Yeah, he's supposed to be this super at risk person, and if he comes back all strong, then what are we doing shutting things down, So it's kind of a lose-lose.
Like, I don't care shit about his taxes. I don't care about his birth certificate.
Where's the test?
Show me the COVID test that says he has COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And now, everybody in the White House is getting it and stuff, supposedly.
Show me the test.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, why is no one else thinking about that? I could just, I had it and I beat it in a day.
It is interesting, though. It is interesting. It's like now you're seeing I know you're not on Twitter, but like on social media, on Twitter, like a lot of these left-wing liberals are like claiming conspiracy theories. Like, it's crazy. Like, oh my gosh, Trump is faking it. Trump's not. He's like, but he was in front of a green screen at the hospital, and some saying the video was edited or pre-recorded, and it's like, man, that's funny that the left is doing that now. Like,
it's kind of nice. I feel like during this whole thing, everyone's had like an introduction to being a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't believe the president, then like there's a conspiracy involved.
Yeah.
And like, hey, go research it, man. Go check it out. He's probably lying about everything.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we'll see how that goes.
And then there was that little like meme thing you sent me that said on 3 years and 330 days from his presidency to 33 days from the election is when he got COVID. And then, like I said, 3 days later, then he gets back from the hospital. It's like, what's up with all of that?
So if you read this whole situation through the lens of occultism, you see the number 3
everywhere
repeated.
Yeah.
You see the repetition of the 3, which if you're decoding something, that's like a big flag that it's not 100% legitimate. It's basically staged.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to explain to my dad. I was like, it's them signaling that they're in control, like to the other people. And we just happen to be more aware and all of that. But then because there are more people becoming aware, could they be using that as diversion and misinformation as well now,
Yeah. That's true.
So it's all confusing. It's like, I don't know what to believe with it, but either way, I think it's going to make Trump look better. People are saying it's going to make him look worse, but it's like, oh, he beat this virus. He did it without a vaccine. He's getting these experimental drugs to, like, everybody. And I know that was a thing that I was like, oh, man, he can't be saying, like, he went through it and he's good because, like, he's the president. He got the best care, but he was doing these experimental drugs that almost anybody can get for like $5 or whatever, So it is affordable and all of that. So there's a lot of misinformation out there for sure.
Speaking of misinformation, should we get into the aliens?
Shift gears, yeah. What did you want to start with? Did you want to start with the movie or with that guy in Arizona, or? Let's start with the article from the guy in Arizona, only because that's what kind of re-sparked me into wanting to research. Gotcha. And this was from like 2017, right?
This was from 2017, and I only have it's October 26th for Halloween.
Yeah.
I only have a little bit of I have an excerpt of the article because I didn't think the whole thing was pertinent, but anyway.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of information down from that because I was like, I read I think that one article that you read, and then I was like, I call bullshit, and I still do.
Do you really?
Yeah. Bro, this guy has no proof.
He's 100% legit. I bet. You want to read
it? You go for it. What do you have?
So the excerpt. An Arizona man has put his ranch up for sale because he says he's been harassed for years by aliens who have tried to abduct his wife. John Edmonds, owner of the Stardust Ranch in Rainbow Valley, about an hour west of Phoenix, is a popular figure in the alien believers community and has publicized his purported encounters with extraterrestrials on Facebook, claiming it's the reason he wants to sell his ranch. So we can just pause right there, I think, too. To kind of recap, I'm already seeing stuff. Like, I'm already like, Stardust, where'd you get that name from? Rainbow Valley, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But we'll continue. So this is a quote from him, and this is where I like, okay, someone says aliens or whatever, like, well, we'll see. But I started to read this toward the end, and I was like, I'm 100% in. He said they actually, he said they actually levitated my wife out of the bed into the master chamber and carried her into the parking lot and tried to draw her up into the craft. He said, "This is why I want to move."
See, okay, hold on just a second, because that's what I'm saying about this guy.
Yeah.
He said different things in different articles. Because in a different article, he said he just saw him by her bed, and then he like interrupted him. There was nothing about them taking his wife somewhere else. It was just at the bed. So again, that's a little weird. And then when he says he's killed these fucking aliens, one time he says 18, one time he says 19. Why the fucking discrepancy? Where's the proof of these bodies anyway?
They disappear when you kill them, so there's no proof.
No, only if you cut their head off.
Yeah, right.
Or if you don't cut their head off, they disappear.
It's common knowledge alien killing technique.
Yeah.
The article I have says it was over a dozen. So that's continuity between numbers, right? 18, 19, 20, over a dozen. That's close enough.
But if you... that's what I'm saying. In one, he says 18, very specific. And then one, he says 19, very specific.
What was the date and article timeline? What was the year
I don't
later?
know. One was like one was that article, and then one was like a interview, like a video interview.
Damn. Did he have the alien on the interview?
Of course not.
Great.
Of course not. There's no proof.
And then the other part that I really enjoyed is he says it's not something for a traditional family, but it holds a lot of secrets and what I believe are future opportunities to understand forces that are in our universe. Please be very well grounded because the energy here has the tendency to manifest with whatever is going on with you. That's where I was like, bro, this guy's 100% real. I don't think it's little green men from Mars because, as we know, I think we live in an enclosed system. But I think there's some shit going on that dude's property. What about you?
I don't believe it. Like, honestly, no, I don't. It's like, I feel this guy, so he said he's experienced it for 20 years. Come on, why now? Like, why in 2017, after 20 years of experiencing this, killing 18 or 19 of them, having no proof, no evidence of any of it, it just feels like he made some shit up to sell his ranch.
I did see.
That's all it feels like.
That's actually brilliant. If that's true, that's even more fascinating than the alien story.
That's all it feels like to me. It's like, oh, okay, he just wants to get rid of the ranch. It's like 20 years of this and no actual physical proof. He says he does, and he says people have seen this this tissue of fluid samples from the grays, but where are they?
Did you not see the bloody samurai sword?
With no proof? I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I didn't go looking it up because there's no fucking alien in it.
No. No, there's not. It actually looks like he killed a small animal. It actually kind of has me a little concerned. Like, it's just like blood and then a sword.
Yeah.
Either he cut himself or he killed something small. But,
yeah.
But the last part of it, and I don't know, maybe he's full of shit. Who knows? If he's trying to just sell his ranch, that's brilliant. He should be able to sell it just for the
just like that,
creativity behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I would buy it. I was like, oh shit, no way. How much is it?
5 million.
But well, I don't know that much. I'm not an alien killer. Maybe Will Smith's in the market for a ranch.
Yeah.
But we're talking about how the land holds secrets and opportunities for the universe and the energy and manifesting with whatever's going on with you. That is like 10 different subcategories of like occult bullshit. Where I was like, okay. Even if he's not seeing little gray men from Mars, he is seeing something. Like, he's experiencing something, even if it's within his own mind. Mm-hmm. But like lucid dreaming to the point where it's like you feel that it's real and you come away with something, whatever. Yeah. But that was what kind of sparked me with the desert and aliens, and then of course with everything, there's an underlying thing with the occult.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Like, when I first saw it, it was interesting, but the like the discrepancies between the multiple interviews that one that I read and then the one or two that I actually saw him talk about, I'm like, it's not fully matching up. And then again, why wait 20 years if you're experiencing this? And then, like I said, killing them, but then having no proof of it. It's like, if you know to cut their head off, you should at least have one.
Yeah, stuff it. I think I'd stuff it. Put it outside for the other aliens so they don't come around.
So it is interesting. Like, I went to this website and there are pictures of like green lights in the sky and like a portal looking thing, but it looks like northern lights, man. Like, that's all it looks like to me. Is just like the northern lights.
We should see if those are visible from his ranch.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get a chance to look that up. I was going to, but I was running out of time. But yeah, that is an interesting thing. Can the northern lights be seen from Arizona, or if it's just some sort of Milky Way stuff? Like, I don't know, but it is interesting. I'm just calling a little bullshit.
I'm sure, but I think there's some truth in what he's saying, but not about aliens. And so that was my springboard, and I kind of started to go off onto I very quickly, of course, ended up in the occult bullshit, looking up that to try and decode all that shit. And I came back around and got a little bit more of some other stuff.
So do you think do you think that the occult could be tied to alien stuff?
100%.
So,
I think aliens are brought on by occult rituals / like, I don't know, inner fucking dimensional, like, summoning.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they summon demons, I think they're fucking summoning aliens. When aliens come out of the sky, I think it's fucking demons. Like, I think it's all
the same.
Yeah, you can refer to them all the same. That's why, like, during Mania, when Bray Wyatt had a match, and he talked about a place where, like, fairies and unicorns and aliens and ghosts live. I was like, bro, he's referencing that they're all kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Aliens and demons, anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what I think, and so that's the string I tug on usually.
But do you believe in unicorns?
Okay, so I have nothing to base this on, but I read an article once that talked about how there are still 2 unicorns in existence. One of them is over on the East Coast where JFK used to live under, like, government fucking, lockdown. Mm-hmm. And the other one, they don't know. I think the center of the earth is probably a pretty good bet.
So so are you saying, like, you believe in a hollow earth then?
No, I think when I say center of the earth, I mean, like, azimuth map in the middle. Like, I think the middle is not the Arctic Circle. I think the middle is, like, lush green. Unicorns. Yeah. Everyone's chill.
Bigfoot.
Hot springs. Bigfoot's chilling there.
Yeah.
I think he's
Elvis, Tupac.
I think Elvis would have died of old age by now already. He lived pretty hard. Tupac's alive though.
Yeah.
That one's real.
Yeah. So
that's why Project Bluebeam concerns me so much, because I think aliens are kind of demons.
Yeah.
And that's, like, where it overlaps. But where did you start with Roswell?
Before we introduce that, how did you find the Vast of Night? And how did you, like, get into that or whatever? Because that ties into the New Mexico thing and all of that, so.
Yeah, that is a good one. One of my buddies actually recommended it, Celdon Crisis, on Instagram. He was like, dude, you gotta watch it. You haven't, and I was like, I haven't even heard of it. And he's like, it's totally a movie you'll like.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then, like, months went by, and then I was laid up at home after surgery.
Yeah.
And my wife's not a big movie watcher, so, like, every once in a while she's like, okay, pick a movie, we'll watch it. And I'm like, cool. I'm gonna get you this one that you would never, ever watch on your own.
Yeah.
So I was like, Vast of Night, dude, 50s and aliens, I'm in. You know?
Yeah.
So we watch it, and I was like on the edge of the balls on my bed. But I was like, what the fuck is going on? And
dude, it was interesting. Within the first 10, 15 minutes or whatever, they were talking about how in the future they're going to have, like, these electric cars and all this. I was like, whoa, dude. I know it was filmed just a couple years ago, last year or whatever, but I'm sure there was that talk back then that this is what the future was going to be, and then we just fucked it up so much that we're not even close to that yet.
Yeah, it's like Tomorrowland. It's like a 50s view of the future.
Yeah.
For sure they were looking to all that.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, so it was like a one night in New Mexico in the late 1950s. A switchboard operator and a radio DJ discover a strange audio frequency which could change the future forever. So that was all that the description said, and it kind of sets the tone for basically that.
But at the same time, like barely scratches the surface.
Yeah, exactly. Barely scratches the surface. What did you think of the ending?
I actually want to delve into it more because I think it's an occult allegory or metaphor. I'm not 100% sure like how to explain it at this point.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that the aliens existed and the aliens weren't there. Then they learned that the aliens existed. And then they got some weird, like, fucking secret information from that one old lady.
Yeah.
And then they were like,
who was chanting and channeling and all that stuff.
Yeah, in fucking Latin. And I was like, I need to look that up, but also I'm afraid to see what it means. But then they were kind of initiated. They were exposed to the truth. And then they followed these things. And then, spoiler alert, I guess, right? For anyone who hasn't seen it yet. For sure, spoiler alert. Then they get, sucked up into the ship? Or do they get dusted like in the Avengers? Because I saw Ash, right?
Dude, that's what I was saying. I don't really like the ending was just weird to me. I didn't really know what happened.
I'm fascinated by it's like the first time
I would have to go back and watch the last 10 minutes and be like, what happened?
And see, like I know it's amazing and I know they're telling us something. I just don't know like all of it yet. I have like the outline of a puzzle and I'm like, I need to just get in there.
Yeah.
But the way they did things, the way they placed things, showing the ash at the end, I'm like, well, okay, so were they vaporized?
Yeah.
Was the aliens just going around killing people?
Yeah.
No. And it obviously, like, they took the baby, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was made very clear that the younger kids and the baby were taken above.
Mm-hmm.
Or manipulated or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, once it hit that part with that lady chanting in Latin, I was like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cult. It's demons. It's no longer a little Martian movie. It's fucking agenda. Mm-hmm. And in the very first few minutes, all-seeing eye and a 33. So
was there?
So when in the very beginning, when he walks into the gym smoking and talking, and he walks out of the gym smoking and talking, he walks through like the exit. Mm-hmm. Right above there's a clock. It's an all-seeing eye. I didn't even notice that one. I know my wife did. And then the switchboard operator, she looks at the radio at one point.
Yeah.
The radio's going. There's like lockers right underneath, and it's right above locker 33. So it's like it's front and center, man. Like, and I'm like, okay.
And that's just crazy because we are typically looking for these things, and sometimes they just slip right past us. It's crazy. Yep. It's so crazy. Yeah, exactly. Just how subliminal they get to it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. But I thought it was great overall. I thought when they tracked down somebody who kind of knows a little bit about that sound that they had heard, and the story that he told was like the most compelling few minutes of movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then the fact that, there was still that racial tension and how nobody would listen to him because he's black and all this stuff. It was really interesting. It was really fascinating. And I thought it was really interesting. Like, when I started watching it, I kind of like maybe got on my phone for a second, and then all of a sudden I looked up and the screen was just black for like a minute. I was like, did I miss it? I was like, what happened? Like, and then I like rewinded it. I was like, okay, I guess it faded to black, and then just while he was talking or whatever. Did they fade it to black because he was black, or just letting it breathe?
I think they were letting it breathe. I think it was an intentional manipulation of our senses to put you more into like. And I love it. It kind of reminded me of it kind of reminded me of Reservoir Dogs, how Quentin Tarantino did so much with like basically so little because it's all storytelling. It's just the fucking story. You don't need Michael Bay explosions and shit. Mm-hmm. So he like they really drag you into the story. Yeah. And then to remind you like this is all in your head. They just go to black while he's still talking. I was like on the edge of my seat. Yeah,
I was too. But like I said, I initially like got distracted or something, checked my phone, looked up, it was just a black screen. I was like, did something happen with my TV or what? But it was very interesting. I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch at least the last like 10-15 minutes to kind of figure out what that ending was about, because I could not quite get it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And the fact that I didn't get it the first time makes me feel like there is some really deep shit in there that
Yeah.
I need to know.
Exactly. Same. But then
So,
that kind of, yeah, led us into the meat, I guess, of what we're going to talk about. So, like I was saying
it's
at the
all
top.
out of the desert, man. It's all out in the desert.
Yeah. So what I did was, like I said, I looked up like the official story timeline of everything, and then I looked up a conspiracy video that kind of broke down the timeline of that. And there's interesting stuff for sure. I don't really know what to believe, because both conclusions come to say that there's no evidence, but even the conspiracy theory says, yeah, there's no evidence of this happening, or the alien bodies, or flying saucer. Like, there's no actual evidence, and both of them line up and say it, but there is some weird information and cover up kind of stuff that kind of went on with it. But what I was found interesting is there was no claims of like alien bodies in 1947 when it happened. All of these claims of bodies being seen started in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So like 3-4 decades.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Miriam? Was it Miriam Ross?
So a researcher came in the late a UFO researcher came in the late 70s and started interviewing people from 1947, but it had already been like 2-3 decades past.
Interesting.
At least that's the information I went off of found.
Yeah. See, I was looking at a bunch of a lot of I was trying to focus on people. Like, I was trying to find
dude, there's too many people. There's too many people.
Right? You think, okay, there's probably like 10 people that may have seen something. No, fucking everybody was taking peeks and looking at stuff, and stuff was disappearing, and this person was being told this and that.
Yeah.
But one that I did pay attention to is Miriam Bush. From what I read, I'll have to go back and check. But in 47, you know what? Yeah, that's right. Because the relatives were the ones that were telling the story. And the relatives said
everything is second or third hand, bro. It's crazy, and it happened decades later. There was no evidence of it happening in 47, like the bodies, I'm saying.
So this chick was interesting because allegedly she had said in 47 she came home. Okay, so what happened was she's at work, she's the nurse, and her boss is like, hey, come fucking check this out.
Yeah.
And there was like little bodies, right? They have like long fingers and big heads or whatever. Allegedly she went home and was like really excited, like, oh my God, like this is fucking crazy. And then the next day she came back to her family and she was like somber, quiet, didn't want to fucking talk, whatever. Allegedly married a secretly gay dude just to get out of town. They moved to California, and then in 89 people started to poke around again and they like found her, but by the time they found her she had like gone to a hotel and allegedly killed herself. But like that to me, that kind of human behavior is not like off of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enough, at least, to tell me there's a cover-up of a government thing, there's a cover-up of an alien thing, or some other option I don't know. But that chick killed herself basically because of what happened that day.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. But now that you've said that about no actual, like, at the time of the incident, people saying bodies, now I have to go read through all this again.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's what I found was really interesting. And again, that's coming from the official story, but even in the conspiracy video, they're not claiming that the bodies were found in 47. They're saying it happened later. So, yeah, it's really interesting. But in 94, the New Mexico congressman requested like a general accounting office initiate a records review to determine if the Air Force or the Army Air Force, is what it was called at the time, or any other government agency possess info on the alleged crash near Roswell in July of 1947. And then 800-page report was completed in July of 1994. Air Force did recover material near Roswell in 1947. It was quote-unquote debris from a top-secret project codenamed Mogul. In June of 1947, these targets were found by a rancher near Roswell, later reported it as a flying disc. The debris was like aluminum foil, rubber, paper, and sticks, and was determined part of like radar targets and weather balloons. And like it said, no claims of alien bodies in 1947. All the claims started in like 70s, 80s, and 90s when a UFO researcher started getting into it and wanting to sell books. And all the accounts were second or third hand witness collected by this UFO enthusiast.
Was that because people had died off by that time? Or because, you know what I mean? Like, if you and I say somebody else saw an alien, couldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, did the people researching go to the source? Or, like, I'm assuming since it's so long ago, some of these people are just dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Unable to reach it all, so they have to be second and third hand accounts.
Yeah, but... yeah, it's frustrating because people's memories are off. You know, people's like people, you know, they always say get 10 people around and you like witness a crime, and everybody like there's gonna be details that are off. Somebody's gonna see a green shirt, somebody's gonna see a blue shirt. You know what I mean? Like that happens all the time. So people's memories is not a good account of things, you know? So, and then to have it be 20, 30, 40 years later that these accounts are happening, and then they're second or third hand, it's like, I don't trust any of that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't trust
any of it. And then there's, you know, this guy just comes and it just seems like he's wanting to sell books.
Which one? What was his name?
I forget his name, but it's the UFO enthusiast, and he wrote books and like compiled all this stuff. And I should have wrote all this down, but there was too many names, man. I was like, I can't keep up with all these fucking names. I'm like, I'd be here for like 6 months trying to write all this down.
This whole thing should be a very like detail-oriented TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from beginning to end, whether it's fake or not or whatever, like there's so many characters and there's so many different layers.
Yeah.
I was reading about this guy named Jim Ragsdale. Did you happen to see about him?
Maybe. I don't think so.
So, and this is probably going to just support your point that like there's no fucking evidence.
Yeah.
But so allegedly he was married in 47 and he was having like a camp out overnight with some other chick who was married to somebody else. So they're both cheating on their spouses in New Mexico desert, and they see the two ships come from above, allegedly. They see a crash or, you know, shit flying over from a crash. They try to go take a look. They can't see anything. So in the morning, they go out there. They find a crash site. They take some of the debris. She takes some of the debris. They put it in their cars, and they see a big old military brigade coming, so they dip out real quick, right? So his name is Jim Ragsdale. Her name is, hold on, let me get this right, Trudy Truelove. And I was like, that's a fake fucking name, right? Like, that's a fake name, and it like, so that's where I started pulling at this string. I was like, if there's something fake or there's some planted stuff, like it should be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So long story short, that lady, Trudy Trudale, who like, or not Truelove, who like people like don't remember, like no one has a whole lot to say about her. I couldn't really find a whole lot on her specifically, just kind of the story. A month later, got into a car accident, died, and by the time her car got back to, you know, the impound lot or whatever, the debris was missing from the vehicle.
Of course.
So either it never existed, or they Princess Diana'd her and removed whatever from the vehicle
was there,
before anyone else got there. That dude also claims, well, not also, but the guy claims that his car was broken into and they took all of the debris and his gun. So, first-hand accounts, no evidence.
There's no evidence ever.
I don't think this chick even existed.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fake name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds like, it reminds me of Lovecraft, or like it I don't know, man. It seems it
off.
Seems fishy.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems fake.
Yeah.
They seem fake for sure. I'm trying to like weed out the fake stuff to get to like the real good evidence.
Yeah, but is there any?
I think there is. I think this is where. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna read a little. Well, I was gonna ask you. So, what's your thought on Project Mogul then? Because that is a legitimate Army Air Force operation that they had, and there's video accounts of it. They've done like over 2,500 weather balloon things, and of course the military is going to show up when it lands because it's a military operation. You know what I mean?
So I specifically about Project Vogel would have to read up on that, but I do know the first day the newspapers were like, aliens, UFOs are here.
No, they just said all it said was a flying saucer.
Okay, fine. But then shortly after that, they're like,
the next day they changed it. Yeah,
they changed the story pretty drastically and pretty. I don't know, they're very committed to the news story. And then there was like, I think some years later, government officials or whoever were like, oh yeah, no, like the bodies recovered were these little test dummies, and we made them smaller because whatever, which I thought was fishy. Like, it seems like when you lie and you keep telling the lie, but so it sounds just more and more unrealistic.
There's video evidence of them using these anthropomorphic dummies, though. There's legitimate video evidence of them having them parachute down. So it's like, you know, it's
were they dated before
true.
Or after the crash?
What's that?
Were they like? Was this dated? Was it before or after Roswell?
It was happening like that during that time, but nobody knew. Like, these anthropomorphic test dummies weren't public knowledge. They were only used for like military stuff. Like, these dummies weren't for public yet. You know what I mean? Like, we know about test dummies. They're used like all the time, but they were brand new, you know what I mean? So public didn't know what the fuck it was. They saw something floating in the sky that didn't quite look like us, kind of like us, but a little off, you know what I mean? So, but there is 100%, I was watching, and there's video evidence of them using these test dummies, parachuting them down, and all of that.
I mean, I don't doubt that. I don't think that's what this was. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna cut to it. I don't know what the hell actually happened, but I think there's layers and layers of bullshit on top of it.
There is, yeah, 100%, because there's a lot of like quotes that were said, and then when somebody died, then there's like this or the sealed document that is released that was like, no, it was this all along. So it's like, yeah, I don't really know, but
because I was gonna ask you when you asked me about Project Vogel. That's funny. I was gonna ask you about Majestic 12. They were hired on by the president to cover up like alien shit, basically. Some people say Majestic 12 is like not fake, but like there's not a whole lot of proof to it. But if you're 12 dudes paid handsomely to not exist, you can cover your tracks. If you're high up if there's 12 of you high up government officials, you can create whatever story you want. So that's not my proof or evidence. But when I'm like, Roswell, if the Majestic 12 had anything to do with it, and there's all this confusion, that to me is some sort of evidence that like we're getting down a path. Maybe it's not Graves from Mars. I don't think it is, but there's something there. I think it was occult rituals. I think it was cult rituals and fucking demons coming into our area. I don't know if the government is doing it or doing it with the people that are doing it, but I think they are at the very least in charge of covering up like evidence. Do you know what I mean? So,
okay.
I know.
There's like actual like documented evidence of them, you know, lifting off 2,500 of these high altitude weather balloons since 1947. Many of them are in that area of Roswell. Many of them had the test dummies with them. Some of them had different like payloads and stuff that like straight up look like flying aliens? Saucers. No, not aliens, like flying saucer stuff. Like, but it was just like new advanced technology that they were trying to track. It was dealing with Soviet, trying to intercept an attack or something using like sonar waves or something like that. So this was new technology that they were trying to send up to see if they can capture anything, and then it would just come down, and then sometimes it would go off of the base. So then of course they would have to go get it. That's their shit, you know what I mean, to find out all the information and data from it. So it's like all these people saying, oh yeah, then all of a sudden, you know, the military was there. Well, yeah, it's a military project, so of course they're gonna go pick up their shit. You know?
That's interesting, because I know nowadays they don't pick up weather balloons. I'm assuming all the information is like electronically reported.
Exactly, it wasn't then. Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't pick up their shit now. But that is interesting, and I don't doubt that is lit. Like, I think that's real. I think the government is really doing that
and
shit.
it's like the size of these balloons is like 40 million cubic feet, 400 feet in diameter at 130,000 feet. In comparison, like a DC-9 airliner is only 104 feet long. So of course it's gonna like look big, massive, and like, you know, it's gonna look different and not of this world, especially if you've never seen it before, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is also a time where, and this is off topic, but I'm not gonna stay there. But this is also a time where like Hitler and all the Nazis were doing weird esoteric occult fucking research, allegedly in Antarctica. They had that wicked, crazy, advanced fucking tech, like, and everyone's like, where the hell did they get this shit from? What's going on here? So I don't doubt that if the German government had what looked like new tech or alien tech or whatever, why wouldn't America? Obviously, at some point in that time, America and Germany were working together, even though they were allegedly fucking enemies. I don't doubt that we had that. I don't doubt that there was fucking circular little flying saucers that the military on our side was trying to learn how to drive or whatever.
I thought this was pretty interesting. I thought this was pretty interesting right here. It says a lot, like the primary recovery areas for this Project Mogul, Arizona, West Texas, and New Mexico, the area surrounding Roswell. So that's pretty interesting. You know, there's a lot of sites or whatever in Arizona. I'm pretty sure Texas is kind of a hotbed too, but yeah, I think it is interesting. I don't know. It's all interesting for sure.
Did you? I think some shit. I think there were. I think there was something, and even if the bodies were people that had been fucking kept like in a basement and malnourished or what, I don't know. Like I really feel like there was some visually stunning stuff present that harmed people's minds forever, because a lot of these people, like, this just became their identity, you know what I mean? And part of it is because people like us talking and asking about it all the time. But some weird shit went out there. I do think I wanted to bring up the Aztec UFO because it also took place in New Mexico, but we can say that for another time because I'm pretty sure that one's bullshit. So if I think it's bullshit, you probably aren't even gonna give it the time of
That's
day.
the one I'm like, no, it's real.
It's fun to read about, and of course I'm gonna throw it in with all the other New Mexico shit. There's some shit going down in that area. Yeah, I don't know.
I just think it's so interesting for myself. I'm just saying this for myself. Like, I don't understand why I'm believing the like the government story, but I kind of have to when there's no proof, you know? Even when the conspiracy video I watched at the very end, oh yeah, there's no proof of this. I'm like, okay, guys, thanks. Like, what the fuck?
What about Brazel, the guy whose the guy whose ranch allegedly some of the debris fell on? He was detained. Yeah, he went and got some of the shit.
There's no proof of that.
He went and got some shit, showed some of his neighbors and family members. He said it wouldn't burn and it wouldn't cut.
Yeah.
Military came, took it away, and then he disappeared for a week. Like, his family and his neighbors are like, yeah, no, the government came and fucking detained him, and then he bitched about it like the rest of his life. So, I mean, it's possible that that's just all part of the play.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you're gonna lie forever.
You're gonna take the fall.
Take you away for a week. Here's $1 million.
Yeah.
I don't know why him or why they would need that, but I mean, there's apparently people going around saying their kid died at Sandy Hook, so I guess anybody will lie about anything.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did right. On July 4th, 1947, Mac Brazel, rancher, went to pick up some of the debris. He took it to the sheriff. The sheriff contacted the U.S. Air Force, and then the Air Force took it to the public information officer to issue a press release stating they have a flying saucer in their possession. Same day, Air Force ordered crash remains to be taken to Fort Worth, Texas, to be inspected by General Roger Ramey. And then it was identified as a high altitude weather balloon. Issues a new press release immediately. I did find this interesting. Upon requesting files from Roswell Air Force Base in 1947 involving the Roswell incident was found. All of the records from January to October of 1947 were destroyed. So that is concerning to me. That is the one thing that stuck out to me. I was like, okay, there's something there for sure. why was shit destroyed? Like, that doesn't make sense. But that was
Dude,
the
why does the
only
Majestic
thing.
12 exist? A whole fucking gang of high up military people paid to discredit alien shit and make all the alien stuff disappear? And then that, like, why are records missing? If nothing happened, if it was a weather balloon, then, like, why all the confusion?
Yeah.
Like, I get that people didn't know about weather balloons. That's actually very interesting that people were so just, like, didn't know shit about the world. But I think the lack of, it's almost like the lack of evidence stands out as suspicious. Because, like, I like, there's a picture of the guy, like, holding the foil or whatever. But conspiracy people say that like, they took the real shit and they gave him tinfoil.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna get to that right now. It says the photo that was taken, the one that we're talking about, there's like some confusion about it, and in a sealed statement that was to be opened after that guy died, I didn't write the name down because I'm telling you, there's too many names to keep track of. But he stated in this statement that the photo that was taken was a hoax, and the real crash site material was replaced with a weather balloon and then photographed and presented to the public. So, yeah, I mean, that was said, and then there was some interesting quotes from people, like I said, but it happened years, like decades later, that these quotes kind of, where they were like, oh no, there was something going on that day or whatever, you know? It was never then, and there's still no evidence. And then I read that there was 2 archaeological digs that were done on Foster Ranch and found no evidence or aliens or ET technology or anything. So
I get it, but, like, how hard is it to say that? How hard is it to stage that?
Yeah.
Like, how, you know what I mean? Like, and the shit that they pull on us now, like, we're like, I kind of see through that media. Back then, these people didn't know what a weather balloon was.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They were just, like, ready to be lied to.
Yeah.
Fucking the War of the Worlds on the radio, people lost their minds, committed suicide.
I know, right? Just off a radio broadcast.
Yeah, just going back to the beginning of what we were talking about how powerful an image in the mind is.
Yeah.
And I think we're like super running low on time.
Yeah.
But maybe we can segue this into another
got like 8 minutes
edition of
left.
the New Mexico. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. But I think all those people did experience some shit, even if there's no physical, tangible evidence. Then I'm almost like, I'm not to just like cling to like something happened, but I'm like, then something happened fucking in everybody's mind. Somebody believes something. Somebody like, I don't know, man. I think there's black magic going on out there, and maybe these people got a little too close to the epicenter, or it's like a fucking movie that plays from a different point of Earth that they saw some shit they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like they said in the last 6 months of 1947, there was over 300 accounts of UFO sightings. But I mean, again, wouldn't that coincide with that Operation Mogul where they're doing the weather balloons and they don't even know what the weather balloons are, and there's this technology on them, and they're like, oh my god, what is that, you know? So it's like, it would make sense. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, both sides make sense. Like, it's really
maybe
interesting.
It's all just, maybe that whole Roswell thing was just to like introduce space to people.
Yeah, that's true. No, that is something, because in 1956, I didn't mention this. In 1956, they made a movie called On the Threshold of Space. And it was kind of about this shit. They like kind of wanted to show what they were doing. So that could be a big key of it right there. I think that's what it is.
If nothing else, it was setting a very grand stage for conspiracy theorists, government cover-up, and bigger than that, the idea of space. Because going back to shit people didn't know in the 40s, they didn't know shit about space.
Exactly.
It was in the 50s where Walt Disney and fucking what's his name? I'll come back to it in a second. Were like, this is the moon as made by Walt Disney, and this is the Earth as made by Walt Disney.
Wow.
Werner von Braun. Walt Disney and Werner von Braun. They started to do all this fucking space shit, and then like NASA wasn't even made until 58 or 59.
Yeah.
So then they want to sell everybody on these fucking ideas of space, and like NASA needs $50 million a day. what better way to do that than 10 years prior? Start fucking handing out space stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Make people interested.
So,
we need to find out if there's.
I think we just broke it. I think we just broke it, and I think that's the conspiracy right there. I think all of it was bullshit. Like as far as the aliens and all of that, I think we're onto something where it was to set the stage for space. That makes 100% sense to me. That's where I can get on board with, for sure.
I'm 100% sure that is, even if it wasn't intended, that's probably the biggest, most consistent takeaway.
Yeah.
Is that it changed everybody's minds, going back to, I guess, what I was saying, I guess there's a TV show in everybody's minds, to think and wonder and fear about what's beyond the stars.
Yeah.
Here, coming right here to Earth.
And then it gets the government in control.
Yeah.
Of it, yeah.
Right. Because obviously, whether they do or do not exist, they have all the info, so they get to give us a little bit at a time. Cut to nowadays.
As I'm wearing the nasty shirt. Yeah.
Cut to nowadays where Tom DeLonge's hanging out with like NASA and all these government officials, like giving us alien info.
Yeah, mixing it with pop culture. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just an updated version.
Yep. Damn, wacko. I think that is true. I'm bummed that I had to sift through all this information because I was like, this is all bullshit to me when I was like going through it. But I did think it was interesting. I couldn't believe I found myself siding with the government side of things. I was like, what the fuck is going on with me, man? Why?
You've been inside too long.
Exactly.
We gotta go to Quest Haven.
Yeah, I know. If they're open yet. Jeez.
No. Fucking everyone's scared of COVID still.
Still. Ugh. But yeah, I think that's what it is. Cause yeah, NASA wasn't invented yet. So set the stage a little bit.
Set the stage.
And then, create this agency where they can control us all.
Take it even further. They knew, I think in 1961, Kennedy said he wanted to hit the moon by 1970.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know the government plans shit out decades in advance. Maybe they're like, all right, dude, if we're going to get to if we're going to take the moon landing by 1970, like, we have to introduce the idea of space to these fucking people that don't even know what a weather balloon is. You know?
Yeah.
How do you do that? You fucking give them nothing, but you make them think that there's something. And then in the 50s, trusted Walt Disney gives you some more shit. And then NASA. And then everyone trusts NASA for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. It was just like predictive programming.
Yeah.
But they didn't have,
the way to do it like we do now. Yeah, exactly. Huh. When did War of the Worlds happen? When did that happen?
Oh, that was like in the 20s or 30s.
The radio broadcast?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so then the idea of space was actually there.
1901.
Oh, shit.
That was way longer ago than I thought.
Damn.
Based on a book. Yeah, I mean, like, the idea of space was there because obviously ball Earth fucking theory was prevalent.
But to just jumpstart the space age, the space race, yeah.
The space race, exact. Everything 50s is alien or fucking space.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true, and it never really went away from that either.
They set a really big stage, and they got everybody hook, line, and sinker, and they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Space Force, same shit.
I know, same thing. Like, are you serious?
I'm like, let me join.
Just put more money into bullshit. Yep, here we go. It's crazy.
Right,
what is Space Force? Like, oh my, you say you think it's like some underground shit? Like, is that what you really think? We got 2 minutes.
I think outer space is either beyond the ice wall / underneath. I think it's just a bunch of different ideas that have been amalgamated, pushed together. Are there other people and beings? Probably. Is it more land? Probably.
Yeah. See, that's where it's like, okay, I don't believe in these aliens like they're saying, but yeah, I believe that there's shit like outside of, if you go past Antarctica or whatever, like I do think there's more land and stuff like that, but coming from outer space, or I can't buy it anymore. They come from a different dimension,
man. They're interdimensional demons. I fucking swear. Until I'm proven otherwise, like, I swear. Even going back and watching the M. Night Shyamalan movie Signs.
Yeah.
Holy water. Like, they use holy water to fight the aliens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And Mel Gibson was a fucking priest, and like, I think there's something to them being interdimensional demons. But how are we on time? Are we done?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Shout it out. Let's end it.
All right, yeah, it was good to finally get back to this. Hopefully, we can get back on a schedule again. I will be on YouTube tomorrow for the Real Word Podcast. This will be uploaded tomorrow evening. And yeah, you got the final words, the last 15 seconds.
It's fucking good to be back. I think we could do another, at least 1 or 2 episodes on New Mexico.
New Mexico and Arizona. The next one has to be Arizona for sure.
Okay.
The Phoenix Lights.
I don't have. Okay. I don't have anything on Arizona, but I'm down.
Yeah. All right.
It's all a cult.
All right. Until next time. Peace.